Welcome back, Undressed Bitches, to another fun episode of Undressed with Pol and Patrik and Little Snow White 90210.
Hey, Undressed Bitches. Hello. I'm excited. But before I introduce our next guest.
Whoa, you're going to love the next guest.
I know. I love her. I want to remind you to rate, review, subscribe. Tell your brother, your father, your sister, your mother.
Don't you bitches know how to do that yet? I know you do.
Let's
go, share.
Wake up your
Press the
dead
share
grandmother.
button.
Make her subscribe.
Yeah.
And book your coffee reading at paulatteu.com. With that, today I am going to introduce, she made history being the first housewife to cross over from one housewife franchise to another.
Yes, I would have done it the other way around if you were asked.
And she's a lot of fucking fun.
She's fun.
Very fun. She's also on Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip.
And what happens with the girls on the trip stays on Bravo.
Maybe we're going to find out today. And can I introduce our guest?
Yes!
Oh, my God. And she's a frequent guest on our boss, Jeff Lewis's
yes,
channel.
we have a boss, another one.
I know.
I have multiple.
Taylor Armstrong in the Paula House, bitches.
She's also a chump.
Woo. Yeah, you are a chump.
Right.
You are a chump, right?
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
a chump.
Right. So
I'm a chump.
I'm a chump.
We're all chumps.
Taylor, how did you meet Jeff?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've known Jeff for so many years. Because when we started Beverly Hills, it was my daughter was turning 4 and she's 17, so it was that long ago.
What?
Yeah. So I think just like the Bravo world.
Yeah. 17?
I know, right?
That's insane.
You tell me, she's a senior. I can't even
Wow.
get over it. And people that see her, it's been kind of fun being back because our crew from Beverly Hills, there's still a few people that are around on OC. And
Got
so
it.
they were miking her when she was 3, and then they mic'd her at 17, and they were like, this is crazy.
Oh
I think that all the housewives over the years, you kind of see how much our
The
lives
growth.
have grown because of the ages of our children. I mean, when
Yeah.
we first started Beverly Hills, Portia was turning 2,
Wow.
and Kennedy was turning 4.
Wow.
And you look at them now. So
I know. They're all like late teenagers. That's
I don't know
crazy.
how it happened because I didn't age at all.
Me either.
Me neither.
Oh, my God. So
I can't believe you've known Jeff that long.
I know. Us too. He did
That's
our
longer
house.
than any of his relationships.
That is true.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did your house. That's how
Yeah,
you
he
met
did
him.
our house
Yeah.
on Bravo on interior therapy years ago, and then we've been
Yeah.
friends ever since then.
Yeah, I can see why.
Really
He's a
cool.
blast.
He is fun,
And he's
right?
sassy like you guys, so it works out.
He is, and it's you either really like him or you really hate him. There's like no in between with Jeff.
No.
It's really interesting.
He either really likes you,
Right.
or he really hates you. You're right.
Exactly.
What was
So
I
No, you don't have an
thinking?
option.
And aren't we lucky?
I know,
Right?
Right?
Thank
I mean,
God.
We were talking about his coffee read, and
Yeah.
he shared with me that when you did the read for him, that there were a lot of snakes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, and he also was
And
saying
they
he
were
has a lot of
bonding.
enemies. So.
Yes.
Oh.
He's got a whole list. I said A through Z. Shit.
Speaking of that, you're gonna have to drink your
yeah.
coffee during
keep
while we're
drinking your
taping,
coffee.
I'm
because
excited.
he's gonna do your reading at the end.
Wait.
Taylor, how did the crossover come about? Coming from Beverly Hills to OC, because you were the first.
Yes. So we did Ultimate Girls Trip,
Yep.
season 2 at Dorinda's Bluestone Manor. And after that, I was like, I think I kind of missed this.
Yeah.
And it went really well. We had a great season for Ultimate Girls. And I talked to Andy and I just said, I think I want to come back. And what would you think about me going on OC? And I thought the answer was just going to be no, because he's always said no.
But you were living in the OC at the time, right?
Yes. My
Yeah.
parents moved to Orange County when I was 17.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's home.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
happen to live in Beverly Hills for a long time, but
Yeah.
I've been in the OC a lot. So he said, I'm open to it. And I thought, okay. And
All
then
right.
it happened,
Yeah.
and I didn't
Honestly,
really
does
think it
anybody
would.
live in the city that they're representing anymore? Everybody's fucking adjacent. We're in Beverly Hills now, people.
Yes,
right.
Kyle
But
lives
none of
in
the
Beverly
bitches-
Hills. Not.
None of the bitches on Beverly Hills Housewives live in Beverly Hills.
It is actually true.
It's
They
kind of funny.
don't.
I know, they really don't. When
Well-
I lived here, though, when I was on Beverly Hills, I lived in Bel Air, which is pretty close.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Well, that's adjacent, closer than over the hill on the other end.
So it was your idea to go to OC, and was Andy like, what the fuck? Like, we've never had this before. We've never, like...
Yeah, I mean, when he said, I'm open to it,
Yeah.
then the conversation began. And of course, he talked to the other people that are the decision makers, and they agreed to let it happen. And so I went on, and it was really interesting going on an existing show.
Yeah.
with a
versus-
group of friends.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So starting Beverly Hills, we all started together. You
Yep.
know, the OGs were like 6 girls that went to hell and back together. You know, we had a divorce in season 1, divorce in season 2, divorce in season 3.
There's still divorces happening.
I mean, right,
exactly.
But we just got so close, but none of us knew how to make reality TV back then.
Yes.
So it was all just super authentic, and the relationships were authentic, and our problems were authentic.
Yeah.
So going into the existing cast of Orange County, I didn't know a lot of what their backstory was. Like, I don't know what Tamara's yelling at Shannon for about something that happened 4 years ago. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what's going on. So it was a little getting used to going on with.
And who are the bigger bitches, Beverly Hills or OC?
Oh, goodness. You know,
come on, Beverly Hills, they got to be the
Wait,
biggest.
well, let's find out. Who are the bigger bitches? I'm curious.
Please say Beverly Hills. I want Beverly Hills
shut
to
up,
be
Paul.
the bitches.
Okay, Beverly Hills can be the bigger bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, Orange County, seriously.
They're so
I'm
very
embarrassed
different.
for them. Of course I'm embarrassed for them. They're different.
It's like the other side of the tracks.
It's like,
Oh my
I mean, if you want to make it on any side, listen.
He said it, not me.
No,
Listen.
think about it, Taylor. If you want to make it on any side of the track, you want to be on the Beverly Hills side of the tracks,
That's
not
true.
on the Orange County side of the tracks.
Would you go back to Beverly Hills?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
I miss the girls definitely in Beverly Hills, and Kyle, and it was also super fun to see people at BravoCon.
Yeah.
That,
Oh my God,
you know,
yes.
from past,
Yep.
and then also Ultimate Girls, and then having the OC ladies there, and then of course people that I know from other shows after just being around Bravo for so long.
Working with Brandi on Girls Trip. How was that as a replay?
Oh my gosh. So Brandi and I had such history on Beverly Hills.
Right.
And
Of course.
a lot of things that weren't really resolved. You know, when I left Beverly Hills after the tragedy, it was
Your
kind
husband,
of like after Russell committed suicide,
Yes.
I just kind of disappeared from all of it because I needed a break. And I
Yeah.
went to Vail, Colorado, and skied like 100 days a year.
Yep.
And
I'm
just
sure that's what rich is.
I
Let's
just
go skiing in Vail.
I just stood on top of that mountain and tried to catch my breath every day and try to like figure out how I was going to move my life ahead.
I
Yeah.
understand
And,
you.
know, another big difference between Orange County and Beverly Hills is that we don't have paparazzi there. And
Right.
so after the suicide and everything that happened, I couldn't go anywhere.
Of
I mean,
course.
it was just, they were just hounding me all the time. So I needed
Well, I don't
that
know.
break.
Shannon seems to be sending pictures to everybody, or are they paparazzi there now? Video. I saw video.
Yes.
I think people are just taking it in restaurants and stuff.
Oh,
Now, with
that's
social
what it
media being
is.
so
Yeah.
much more prolific, you
Yeah.
know, but
How
yeah,
did
it was a big
you
difference.
pick yourself back up after your husband committed suicide? Because that's intense.
Trauma.
Like that's
was
real
crazy.
fucking trauma. Like you can't make that. It's not. It's real. It's reality, but it's your real reality. How do you pick your daughter? And how do you?
I think more than anything that I do a lot of public speaking, and you find strength inside yourself that you didn't know you had. If someone would have told me I would go through that and come out the other side, I wouldn't have believed it. But you know, I had a little girl. She was 5 when he killed himself, and so the options were I could put on my big girl pants and figure it out, or I could wallow in it for the rest of my life and ruin her life and mine. And it didn't even feel like an option at that point. But I will say being in Vail was such a gift because
Healing.
it's just so healing, and just being on the mountain every day and being able to look out. Like I love being by the ocean and the mountains, because you look out and you think my life is like this small compared to how
Comparison to
vast.
how
It's so
big.
healing.
Yes,
It really is.
yes,
And
it is.
very cathartic.
And I think also just having done all these years of public speaking and raising a lot of money for domestic violence charities and shelters, and I feel very. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon in a domestic violence situation where suicide is involved that they take their partner with them. So murder-suicide, the statistics on murder-suicide.
I saw something about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You were a victim of domestic abuse.
Yes.
Like you were the first. Like they weren't really talking about that on TV back then.
Well, it wasn't a subject matter that people wanted.
It was like
to
taboo. They
tackle.
didn't want to talk about it.
They wanted to glorify everything.
Yeah.
But then you were going through things that were a lot deeper that most people go through that then they connected to.
And it was so hard for the viewers to believe that people that live in Beverly Hills have
They don't have any issues.
abuse,
right?
you know, and that it happens.
Not if you have a fucking pony at your birthday
Right?
party. No.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen.
I think it was eye-opening for people to accept the fact that it happens in every socioeconomic climate, unfortunately, every race, religion, and
Yep.
after I had
It's a human
reconstructive surgery,
problem.
it is a human problem. Unfortunately, and I believe that the statistics are way underrated because people don't want to
of course,
admit
they
it.
don't
Right.
want to.
So-
They
Just
don't want to
forget,
report.
sweep it under the carpet. It's not.
Exactly.
You had reconstructed on your eye? Or,
I did. I
Yeah.
had an orbital floor fracture, so
Yeah.
the socket of my eye. I have a titanium implant,
Wow.
and it does not go off at the airport.
I was going to ask you, does it go off at the airport?
People ask me that sometimes. I'm like, no, it doesn't go off at the airport.
No, but the fact that you've got titanium, bitch,
Wow.
that's
Right?
fierce. Not
I am
everybody can say that.
titanium.
Thank God I had amazing surgeons, and
Yeah.
they did such a good job. And I really am so thankful that they were able to take care of it. But it was.
But emotionally, I can understand that, now that you were on so many years ago, right? And
Yeah.
to think that happened. And then when you look at what reality is turned into now and how they say that, oh, the producers are promoting this or they're egging, the talent to be able to act a certain way or do certain things.
Yeah.
I almost think when you don't know what reality is, but you're living your truth in reality, and a lot of people don't understand what being in front of the camera really means. They think it's all glam, it's all cute, it's all fun, but it's long hours. It's very stressful, and it's magnified in a different context. So things that happen in front of the camera sometimes never seem to happen in real life.
Right.
But because it's in front of the camera, it's almost as if it's accelerated, it's magnified, and it's exposed. And I think that makes us more vulnerable. And I think that's why we respond and react in such a way.
Well, definitely the long hours, as you said, have an impact. When we were doing Ultimate Girls Trip, we're in all that house together. Like
Yes.
we were just with each other from.
Okay, is it true? Is Bluestone Manor really falling apart?
I don't think. I think Bluestone
Vicky
Manor is
kept
amazing.
trashing Bluestone.
I know. I know she.
Well,
did.
Vicky needed to trash something.
I know.
I mean, that's what Vicky does.
Poor Dorinda. I was like, oh my
I
God, she's going to
know.
kill her.
I know. I just love Dorinda.
Dorinda couldn't give a shit.
I'm so lucky. I think I'm the only one that Dorinda didn't explode
Have a
on during
problem
the
with?
whole trip.
Yes.
I was like, thank God. But then Brandi and I had to have our moments where we had to backtrack and deal with some
From
of
Beverly
our past
Hills?
issues.
And do you
now
think you
we're
finally
good.
worked that out?
We did. And I have an much better understanding of who Brandi is, and that sometimes she just can't help herself.
Yeah.
And
But
she's-
you got to love her.
I do.
I love
You
Brandi.
got to
Yeah.
love her. She's great.
We just had a lot of history that needed to be sorted out, so I'm thankful for that. But those long hours will also push you over the edge.
Sure.
when
That's what
you're-
I mean.
And we would get up and COVID test at like 6 a.m. and then be together till 1:30 in the morning. And, of course, it's some mimosas.
And you're like, bitch, I don't want to talk to you no more.
Did anybody get COVID during the girls' trip?
No. And
No.
we had a huge crew.
Wow.
And I feel like everyone was safe. And it was just a little bit unfortunate because we weren't able to do as many things as like exploring and going out because it wasn't that long after COVID. So we
who
were
had sex
restricted.
with who in the room?
Well, Brandi and I have this thing where we fight and then we end up making out. And I don't know
Oh, I love
where it
that.
comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
just
God,
very
does that
weird.
make you lesbian?
Is Brandi a good kisser?
She is.
She
yeah.
looks like
I
she would be a
love that.
great kisser.
Well, that's probably why Denise got together with her.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Because, Brandi's hot.
Brandi's so hot.
Brandi's
she is.
hot.
Yeah.
Like, you got to give her that.
Oh,
her
yeah.
legs
Her
are
body.
But at
just-
BravoCon, you made a big deal about like you're bisexual.
Yes.
And
I
you're
am.
like, okay, I'm like you don't care. You,
No.
who knows?
You're bisexual too then.
I'm not bisexual.
You were fucking married.
I was fucking a woman and never again.
Not after me, honey.
That's what I thought.
Not after you got
Not after you got that ring.
Not after you
He's not
gave me-
going anywhere. He's not giving up the ring.
Girl,
that's for
I give it up the ring. I'll
Oh
do
my
whatever
God.
it takes. Whatever.
That does not make me bisexual.
Doesn't that make you bisexual, though?
I mean,
No, because I don't still date women.
Well, no, I don't
couldn't.
still-
well, how could you? You're married.
well, no, I don't either. Because
Right.
I'm married too. But I mean, I had a girlfriend,
Before.
God,
Yeah.
what kind of lesbians and
And
gays
how
are we?
long-
When we don't even know what this means. This is awful.
Well,
know
there's too many different things. We're talking on Jeff's show
Yeah.
about this new thing. I guess it's called pansexual.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
pansexual.
I
They
can't
love
keep track
everybody.
of all of this.
And demisexual, you have to be connected before you do a blowjob. I'm like, no, honey.
I mean,
Take your pants
Taylor, you
down.
drink your
I
coffee
need
so it doesn't get
I
stagnant.
need to get like a dictionary for sexuality. I
You
think.
want to get a dick?
Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Oh my God. Well,
what she said.
no, I don't
Don't give
think
my
I'm-
husband any ideas.
I don't think I'm bisexual but I do think, maybe you think this way too. People fall in love with people.
Yes.
So like, I feel like if I don't know, maybe
You better not fall in love with anybody else other than
only you,
That's
bitch.
it. No.
That's
only
right,
you.
bitch.
But if you're, I think they were saying this morning, pansexual is where you just love somebody for who they are on the inside, not
Yes.
the way they look. But
Yep.
isn't that kind of what love is anyway? Loving somebody
Kind
for
of,
who
but
they
then
are.
but if you're pansexual and you're loving on the inside, does that mean that are you sexually compatible? Because that's a whole
Right.
nother thing.
I agree. Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I
Were
have
you
to be at least.
so when you made out with Brandi,
Yeah.
did that seem like, how does that seem? Like, is that sexual? No.
I
Is
think it's just
it?
us being wild. I
And
don't
fun,
know.
right?
Yeah,
Wild
I mean,
and
we're
crazy
like
fun.
arguing and then
Exploration.
just we start making out. I don't know. Although Tamara
Let's
also
argue.
was like lap
Because I want to
dancing with
argue
me.
and make out.
I know, right?
I want to try that.
I know.
Although our makeup sex is
And then Tamara was lap dancing.
Yes, Tamara was lap dancing. I feel like I was just getting it from all angles at Blue Sky Manor.
pat the pussy all day.
All day long.
Oh my
we had a
God.
great time. I loved Ultimate Girls Trip.
Yeah.
I would definitely do it again.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was funny when we got back. We had a photo shoot in New York after.
Yeah.
And, well, first of all, when they said we were going to the Berkshires, I thought we were going to the Hamptons because I'd never heard of the Berkshires before. And then
No.
I found out we was
It's
in
Hampton
Massachusetts.
adjacent.
It is Hampton adjacent, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's in
Hampton adjacent.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's a whole
So,
different
but yeah,
place.
we had no idea.
Yeah.
And then we got back to New York to do the photo shoot, and
Yep.
Vicky was like, "Okay, where
Let's
are we?
just go
Where
to-
are we all going to dinner tonight?" And I'm like, "We all are going to dinner by ourselves because we have had enough of you." I've been with you for like in this house for 8 days and nights. I'm going
Yeah.
to dinner by myself.
Oh my
It's a week-long shoot.
Yeah, I think 8 days
So that's
total,
pretty good,
including
right?
the travel though.
They put a lot of story together in 8 days.
100%.
It's really good.
Yeah,
the way
we had a
they-
lot of
the way they do that.
activities and-
yeah.
Yeah, Dorinda had planned a lot of activities.
Yes.
Except I didn't understand some of it. Who would do some of those backyard
The
stuff?
beanbag.
Like, who does that?
I know, and her being in charge with the whistles, like so apropos, right?
Yeah,
Fucking whistle. It's like
she's
you and
a
your
control
bell.
freak.
Yes, she's definitely a control
She's
freak.
a control freak.
Yes, in a
This
good
coming
way.
from the man who has a bell.
Where's my bell?
He has a fucking bell.
Where's my bell?
Oh.
He does.
Okay.
It's downstairs. You don't need your bell
totally
right
wanna,
now.
like, do
The
my
man
bell.
with the bell is telling the woman with the whistle that she's a
You
control
know
freak.
what? I'm gonna go get my fucking bell. Right now.
Where are
know-
you going?
That relay race
You're-
that we did was so much fun, though.
I'm gonna go get
What
my
was did you the balloon trip, the balloon ride?
Yes.
Were you scared?
Well, at first, I think they were contemplating whether they were going to tether us or not.
Yeah.
And they ended up tethering us.
Oh, they
and
did.
So I felt a little safer because
Right.
of that, but I would have been scared.
Because
Would you be scared?
Yeah, because you hear so many horror stories about these balloon rides.
Yeah.
That crash and like it's I would be scared.
I would be too.
We did parasailing in Aruba.
Okay. Oh, you did.
Oh, that was scarier than shit. Going
Yeah.
over the water, and then you can see a shipwreck below because the water is like crystal clear.
We did parasailing on Orange County when we were in Mexico, and they didn't put us up in the air very high. But I thought Vicky was gonna have a panic attack. She went before me, and then she
on your
came
deck.
down,
Sound.
and she's like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! It's too scary!" And I have this picture of us together, and she just looks like pale white, and her hair's like a mess. And I thought she was gonna throw up. She hated every minute of it.
Oh my god.
But we didn't go very high.
No.
Because I mean, obviously I live by the water, so
Yeah.
I see people doing it, and they're up way higher than I
Do
would
they
want
do
to go.
parasailing in Orange County?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I didn't think they was allowed to do it.
Oh,
in,
you know,
in
it might
California.
not be in.
Or maybe they can't do it as high or something. But
Yeah, they have those new ones where they're motorized.
yeah.
Which are
Okay.
super cool.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I think I was just thinking. I just got back from Mexico, so now I'm confusing.
Oh, probably in Mexico they did it.
They
Yeah,
definitely do it in Mexico.
Because Mexico is so scary. They crash into buildings. They're like, it's insane. Here he got his bell.
And
Can you
I've
believe
heard
this?
of the rope breaking before, and then the people just go
Yes!
like shooting off. No,
that
thank
would
you.
freak me out.
Yeah, but
To
yeah,
no
it
end,
was
that
in
would freak
Mexico
me
when
out.
I saw it recently.
Yes.
That's right. You're right.
I'm back with my bell. Bitch.
This fucking
Okay,
bell.
But what happens when that happens? What are we
Everyone
supposed
comes
to do?
running.
People show
to his
up.
beck and call.
I'm like,
You're his,
Patrick,
you're his beck and call girl.
Riley. Well,
Did
how
you-
else am I supposed to get their
Did you know
attention?
that you weren't going to go back on Real Housewives Orange County the next season?
Yeah.
I
And
did
I was
not.
surprised. I thought they were going to give you an
Put on
orange
Am I
and you were
supposed
going
to
to
do
be a main cast member
Yep.
because you were on it a lot
Yes.
during the season.
You were great. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I think I got to know you more, and the Taylor that represented properly is what we saw. Because you've done so much work, you've gone through so much, and I think you were able to just walk into an arena and no judgments and just be present. And I think that's the part that I loved about how you represented yourself.
Well, thank you for saying that.
It was just so, it was pure.
Like, they didn't tell you and they just didn't renew your, or you, how did you find out?
They
you're not going
called
back?
me.
And they told you?
Yeah. They just said they were going to go in a different direction.
I hate those words.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What's a different direction?
When you're saying about being like just authentic, I am the same person on TV as I am in my real life.
Yeah.
So some people are not, you know, when they get in front of the camera,
So they want the
they
fakes.
behave differently, and I'm just me. And I'm really fortunate because I have a very active life. And some people, I was talking to Jeff about this, the show becomes them.
Yeah.
You know, and that becomes their identity.
Sure.
And for me, I'm going to do the same things that I do all the time. So
Right.
it doesn't define who I am. And also it was a little bit of it can be a bit of a conflict for me because coming from a place where I want to empower women and to support domestic violence charities, I'm not going to scream at people and get crazy. I mean, it just goes against the message I'm trying to put out into the world.
Oh, so you're trying to say everybody there is batshit crazy.
I don't know.
Well, because Vicky's not asked back either. Not even as a friend.
Yeah, Vicky's back.
No.
Oh, she's not back either?
No, Vicky's not going to come back either.
Not even as a
apparently.
friend?
Not even as a friend.
Oh. And how is that going to work with her? Because that's her whole identity. Her whole identity is housewife.
Because she's done it. I mean,
Yeah.
for so many years, it just, like I said, becomes
Right.
you. And so it's like a huge void in her life.
Is
But isn't it kind of like a mental mind fuck? They bring you from Beverly Hills to OC, put you on a season, then don't bring you back. Are they maybe going to bring you back to Beverly Hills? Like, it's kind of like...
Babe, she cashed a check. She cashed a check.
I am very appreciative for the season because I got closer to Shannon and I are quite close
That's
now.
nice.
And getting to know Emily and Gina and Heather and I, spending more
them.
time together.
Wait, who else isn't coming back?
No, I think everyone's
Everyone's
coming
back except for Vicky and you then, right?
Yep.
I knew you weren't coming back. I didn't know Vicky wasn't going back.
So who else are they going to have that they're going to bring on? Somebody else or no?
I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, they just
I
want to
think that
tear.
they're kind of tossing around some different friend names, but I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, Jen's coming back.
Oh, she is?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Well, they got to tear that relationship up a little further.
Is there anything left? Bless her.
I
I
mean, but
know.
then
One thread.
everybody's
know.
already slept with Ryan. I don't know why she wants to suck his dick anymore. I'm like, what is that? It's like the 101 freeway.
My gosh.
Oh,
I mean,
my
think about it.
I wish they would have aired more of my time with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She and I lived together in Montana and Mexico
Oh,
on our
nice.
trips
Oh, yeah.
on OC.
Yep.
And we got to spend a lot of one-on-one time together. And I feel like people didn't get to see her reacting
Probably
to her
not.
relationship with Ryan as
Yeah.
much as she did behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
to me, and having deeper conversations about it. So I'm hoping this next season, she gets a chance to really show their relationship in a positive light, as opposed to them just getting beat to death.
Is
all the
Tamara
time.
going back?
Yeah.
She is going back. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
is Teddy going to go with them then?
I don't know.
Because I heard a rumor that she's
Yeah.
in OC all the time. That
Because
she might
Tamara
go to OC.
wanted, I think she's moved to the OC now and rented out her house.
Yep. I love
Here.
Teddy.
Yeah.
She's
So I
good
think
fun.
she's probably going to move there to be on the show. So that would be nice.
That would be good too for them, so they can do their podcast together more
yeah.
often than having to be in two different
Absolutely.
cities.
Probably.
Yeah.
And Heather, right? Heather is coming to Beverly Hills, so maybe she's going to be on Beverly Hills Housewives. I don't know. That's interesting.
I always thought she'd be good on Beverly Hills.
I always thought she was misplaced on OC. I really did.
Yeah, I think she would be great on
Yeah.
Beverly Hills.
I really think she would be good.
I don't think she was misplaced. I think Heather's the same Heather no matter where she goes. So she's not quantifiable by the surrounding. She's just built who they are because of who she is.
No, but I think that, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, either of you, but I feel like Beverly Hills always showcases the more glamour side of the Housewives. And OC is kind of like,
The trailer park?
yeah.
oh my god.
Okay, when he was going to
I
do,
mean, I don't know any
he was
different.
going to do a dress for one of the OC Housewives for the reunion. And you were going to do it. And then
Yeah.
she sent a message to you, remember? And she said, oh, they want, what did they want?
Beach.
cocktail. And he
I
goes,
thought-
so she's like, I don't know what in the world that means,
No.
what I'm going to wear.
We were all like, what is beach cocktail? I mean, I live at the beach. I don't know what beach cocktail is, right? And then it was like no gowns, no. And it was just like such a complete 180
Which is
from
weird,
Beverly
right?
Hills, right?
Because
Which
you-
would be like this.
Yeah, but it's weird because you feel like the reunion should be the final glamorous, beautiful gown. And
Yeah,
then
but it's OC. They're drunk. They're passed out.
do you, I feel like, do you feel, maybe OC gets a bad rep.
You think?
I think OC
Because
gets a
of the-
bad rep.
Well, it's interesting because when Beverly Hills, when they were coming up with the idea of doing Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
Andy was like, it's the same.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills OC because he lives in New York, right?
Right.
So to him,
Yeah.
it's all the same. You
Yeah.
know, it's just Southern
course
California,
not.
and it had just ended up being
Honey,
so very different.
90210 is a whole different country.
Yes, but I think the New York executives at first were like, it's the same. Beverly
Yeah.
Hills, Orange County, you know. So it is,
Yeah,
but it's
no.
night and day for
Which
sure.
franchise do you prefer? From you were on both, so which one do you like better?
I think just because my relationships on Beverly Hills were so close. I mean,
Yeah.
those girls are family to me forever after
Aren't
everything
they?
we
Is
lived
it-
through.
You know what's
Yep.
crazy? When I'm watching Beverly Hills, I don't watch the other ones. When I'm watching,
You watch some of them. You just kind of skim through. Like, not Potomac. We don't watch all. Like,
I don't.
Beverly Hills and OC are
And
the only
then-
two we
if
kinda
you couldn't
watch.
watch them all, there's not enough hours in the
No.
day. There's so many.
I mean, we have friends on all of them.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching Beverly Hills, I connect with them because I know the places they're going. I know the reality of what they're doing. I know the conversations that they're having. I connect on the same platform that they're on.
Yeah.
But then when you see some of the other ones, and and I hate it when they're tearing each other down. I don't like it when they're trying to, make each other feel so crappy because
Yeah.
that's not what you do to your friend. That is not. That you have to have a conversation. That's not the way you carry on in real life. For you
But
to be
don't
able
you
to
know
just-
when you go into Housewives, you're going in, you're gonna have to fight.
Yeah.
You know,
you better
it's-
have your
you're gonna have to
extensions
drink,
tucked in real good.
drink and fight because that's the whole show.
Right, exactly.
You basically drink, fight, hate each other, and then do you all make up at the end of the day, or some don't?
No.
Well, we just had a Christmas dinner together.
Yep.
All the OC girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aw,
I mean,
that's
there's
so sweet.
still
Where'd you guys
some-
go? Quiet
we went
woman?
to Joey.
It's not so quiet.
We went to Joey in Newport.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's still some tensions there. You can
Yeah.
feel it. But we exchanged gifts and
That's nice.
had a good toast and
And it wasn't on camera,
nope.
so nobody was
No.
yelling or screaming.
No yelling or
That's too
screaming.
bad.
But
You're
I do
hilarious.
think that you build those really strong bonds in going through what it's like to
Of
go through Housewives
course,
together
of
for sure.
course.
Yeah. Where do you think the ultimate girls trip? What destination would you want to go on? Ultimate girls trip. Like, where do you think would be the best destination?
I think Tuscany would be fun,
Oh,
or like
yeah.
a beautiful vineyard somewhere would
nice.
be
Yeah.
nice. I don't think they've done
I like
anything
that.
like
We're going to be
that.
in Italy. The end
That's
of the
right.
month.
That's gonna be
And when you
great.
say we, you mean we?
Yeah, so you're coming, Taylor?
I'm
What are
gonna-
you doing for Christmas and New Year's?
I'm staying here. I just got back
You
from
are.
Mexico,
Yeah.
and I wanted to spend a little time with my husband's daughter. Lives there, and so I
Yep.
got to kind of celebrate a little Christmas with her.
Aw.
And then now
Nice.
I'll just be here. So probably maybe go skiing, but in Vail.
Okay.
But
How did he feel about you being on Housewives? Was he nervous from
no, he's
from
very
before?
supportive.
No?
Well, he had filmed with me in season. I'm probably gonna get the season wrong. 5 or 6 of Beverly Hills because
Oh,
I came
okay.
back for a few.
A little
Got it. Okay.
friend.
And so he had been
Came
through
back
it
to
a
fight with
little.
Brandi for a
Wait,
little bit.
if you made out with Brandi, fine. Who would you pick to make out with if you had a choice? On
Of the
any of the
Housewives?
housewives.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Kyle is maybe not available right now, but who would be? Because you don't know. Like
Kyle's
I
like
want everybody
family
to
to
be
me.
happy.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Like, who
There's
would
so
you
many
met Morgan?
be with?
beautiful ones. I
Have
have
you
not
met
met Morgan. No.
Oh, we all
Who
have
would you
one.
want to be with? Like who,
I think-
stimulates you, and it's just pure animal sex. You're like, yeah.
Denise Richards.
I was thinking Denise too, but there's the girl you guys were talking to Tom
Oh,
about. her.
Kristen
Okay.
from New York.
Yeah, she's hot too.
Yeah.
she is.
There are so many beautiful ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them I'm just too close to that I would be like, oh, I don't know.
That's funny.
Who would you want to
Kirsten.
make out with?
You know, the crazy thing is, I don't see anybody other than my husband.
Oh,
It's insane.
you have blinders on. I love
I
it.
don't understand. I can appreciate another human being really good looking. I can say, you know what, babe? I like their hair.
But you got to pick one housewife to make out with. Who?
Oh.
I know it's hard because it's a female, but.
Oh my God!
Can I say
this century?
Nope. Erika Jayne.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
And she looks amazing.
Oh my God.
I think she would totally rock my boat.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. I'd
When
be
she
rocking hers
performed at
too,
the
but-
white party, was she not like
She
amazing?
She looks amazing too. When I saw her at BravoCon, she looks fabulous.
she
Best I've
would-
ever seen.
yeah, she looks good.
Totally, like I would Erika Jayne.
Erika Jayne's a good one.
That's a really good one, especially because she
Yeah.
can dance, so she'd be good. In
Well, I think they're just twinsies. Like
You know-
look at
you
them.
know who I
Erika
would
Jayne
pick?
and my husband, I
Actually,
think they're just
a
like
little
two
bit,
foot
yeah.
kids. They're like
you know who I would pick?
who? Let me think.
Oh, you know me. You know my personality. Who do you think I'm going to pick? Who would be fucking, I think, wild and probably have a dungeon in her house?
Oh God, Garcelle.
Lisa Rinna.
Oh, Lisa Rinna.
there you go. I love Lisa Rinna. I love her. She's
I
a
love
doll.
Lisa because she is unquestioned.
Yeah,
She
but
doesn't give
he
a
grew
fuck what
up-
anybody says.
But he grew up on Lisa Rinna. Because from
course.
I
Days
watched
of
her
Our
on Days.
Lives.
On Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's known his
Oh.
entire life. I mean,
But she's
they go
fucking
way back from Salem and
sexy.
everywhere else.
She's sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think she should go back to Housewives. I don't know if she would though.
Well, why
don't know.
not? I think it's a fun. If you understand what the Housewives are about, it would be great fun. Like, what did you do different this time than you didn't know to do the first times?
The biggest difference for me was I was going through so much of my personal life because I was going through the abuse. And
Yeah.
so the Housewives can be so anxiety provoking, everybody
Wow.
fighting. And so
Sure.
I would live it and then I would go home and I was living it at home too.
Again.
And so
There was no break.
just a ball of nerves all the time. And so this time I got to just breathe deep and know that when I get home, everything's going to be fine. And
Yeah.
it was just a completely different feeling filming. And it was much more relaxing and fun.
What advice
That's
do you
great.
give all these people that are just thinking that Housewives are all about tearing each other down or doing this or that? Like, they think it's just this glamorous life and that they're going to have all these campaigns happening. It's
Yeah.
not that.
No.
So what is it?
The
Like,
ultimate
what
girls
advice?
trip, we have a group chat
Yeah.
and we have stayed in touch and it's all supporting each other. Like
That's
when
awesome.
when Phaedra started going on Married to Medicine,
Yeah.
we were just like, yay, we're all
She's
happy
sweet.
for each other
Yep.
and really just supporting one another. And those relationships wouldn't have existed if I hadn't done Housewives with these ladies. And Eva is my sister from another mister. I love
I remember from
Eva.
America's Next Top Model.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's
And I
fab-
loved her
and
on that show.
Phaedra
Yeah.
is hysterical, and I just cannot handle
She's
myself with
genuinely
Phaedra.
honest.
Yeah.
And
She's
so
just
funny.
like, you know what? Unabashedly, I'm Phaedra.
I
Go
love-
fuck yourself.
Exactly. I was on the phone with her
And
one
she'll say
day.
it nicely, too. She'll be like, you can go fuck yourself now.
100%. I was on the phone with her one day, and just the way she talks just cracks me up.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was there, and I said, Phaedra, can I just put you on speaker so one of my friends can hear how you talk? And she was like, sure. And so we're just dying laughing, and she just talks like that naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just
not
so-
rehearsed for camera or anything.
No.
I love it.
And that's the beautiful part.
100%. I love her to death.
We want to go over some hot topics.
Oat
Oat, as Paul likes to say, oat
Bring on the
topics.
heat.
Okay.
Oh, here's that fucking bell.
Oat topics
He
now.
found the bell. Okay, the first one we want to get your opinion on, the Lizzo lawsuit.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
First, you hire a bunch of people.
We met Lizzo, and she was really lovely and really sweet, and she was nice to us anyway.
She's nice to everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But you know what? There's a lot of demands on you when you become that big.
right?
Yeah.
It's very different. So you're really the persona. You're not the person. So when you're intimate with somebody, then it's different. But then when you're the persona and you've got all these commitments and requirements of how to be perceived and how people expect you to be. Like, people think I'm a bougie bitch.
You are.
I was going to say, who thinks that?
You know what? Shut up, both of you. You know what?
Paul just beat us with his cards.
Bell again.
Well, the reason I'm curious what your opinion is on the Lizzo lawsuit is because, to me, a lot of it mimics Housewives.
Yeah.
You guys get together. you make out with each other,
Right.
put, go to a stripper. I've seen it all on Housewives. And it's kind of the same thing. So what's different, do you think, about it, that these dancers
like
are...
when you guys are in the hotel room and you're egging each other on in a playful way and you're like having fun and Kyle's doing the splits and going backwards and your ass is hanging out and somebody's tapping on it. Is that sexual? I mean, that's fun.
It's just fun.
That's
right?
girls being
Yeah.
fun. That's like having your childhood memories kind of relived again, sort of, and being girls.
Yeah, just being
girlfriends.
playful. But I think
Yeah.
for her, in her situation, we're all equals.
Yeah.
And in her situation, she's the boss. And so she probably has a lot more spotlight on her.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah, but then if you're not in the playroom with
But
the
is it
others,
fair
then they
for her
say,
dancers to then come and
then
sue
they're gonna
her?
say, "Oh, she's in her tower and she won't come off her tower, so us little kids are gonna play, and then she'll just make an appearance," and that's what they're gonna say.
Yep.
But
I agree.
otherwise,
She's a target.
there,
Right.
She's there with them, hanging out, having fun, going, "You do that, I can't do that." So what's wrong with that?
My thing is,
I
though, like,
do
if
the same
you
thing.
don't want to be there, you get up and you walk out. I
Right.
mean, when I was watching Housewives, was it last week when Sutton was when they were giving shit about Erika Jayne's performance and the dancers, and it was offensive to her or whatever, which I don't understand because I've seen her do way worse. But it's
the fact that the guy went inside
Yeah.
her crotch.
yeah.
She was wearing clothes. Honey, people have been there without clothes.
100%. With everything we see on a day-to-day basis with social media and
Honey,
everything, I'm
go on
surprised.
Instagram.
Listen.
That's
nothing
like a
should surprise
tame
people.
version of
Exactly.
anything. And she was
Listen, my whole thing
performing.
is nobody has said anything about Sutton's cat sweater, so I
Meow.
hate that cat sweater.
Meow. She had a pussy on her
I was
chest.
just about to say the same thing.
Pussy
Oh
on her
my
chest.
God.
Wearing that pussy with pride.
That's right.
All right, you got another hot topic, babe.
Oh,
Yes.
I got to put my glasses on.
Oh my God. He's putting on his Cheaters Club glasses, and you can get yours at Atteu.com.
I love it.
They're cute,
they're
right?
so cute on
yeah.
Oh, Alexis Bellino dating John Jansen. Why do you guys want to recycle the same dick? Like, I don't understand that. There's nobody else in Orange County that has a dick? Like, I'm not getting it.
I don't either.
Like, did like, I don't get it. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if she. I know she and Shannon don't know each other,
Oh, they don't.
Oh, they don't.
but it's still kind of like
Is
girl
it?
code. Because
Right?
Exactly.
You work for Housewives,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of other guys
Right.
in Orange County.
I know there are.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's going to wear flip-flops all day,
I think that's got to be hard for Shannon to everything she's gone through with the DUI and all of that, and then to find out the guy she loved is now dating one of the cast members from the show. That's got to be
I can
shitty.
tell you, it is horribly hard on her.
I can
Yeah.
tell you
I mean,
that
I'm experiencing it with her.
Shannon and John Jansen, they came to my fashion show.
Yeah, yeah. Shannon's daughter modeled in his show.
She was
good.
in
They're beautiful
the
girls.
fashion show.
Yep.
They were great together. I was rooting for them.
Yeah.
Because when you get to meet somebody in person, you then get to know a little more about them just by the presence.
Mm-hmm.
And they were lovely. And then when I hear this and I'm thinking to myself, bitch, like seriously, why?
I
Like
know.
it doesn't make sense.
I've spent a good amount of time with them. We go boating together
Yeah.
and go to dinners and go out and have fun, and it's really sad.
It's hard.
I think they're probably better apart, but I like them both.
But I'd hate for Shannon to feel this hurt that someone betrays you when that happens, because it is girl code. Like it just,
Big time.
it's not.
Yeah, and it should be like his code too, to know that Shannon's hurting in so many ways right now. And
Then why do you do that to her?
I mean, to me, that would be off limits.
I agree.
If I was with someone and we broke up, I would not be hitting on their friend. I
And
just
even
wouldn't.
if they're
wouldn't
not,
either.
and even if they're not dating, even if it's just a hookup, even if it's just like something, then you know what? It's not appropriate. There's a lot of other people. You can't just be with whoever's just interested.
Well, and it's too soon, no matter what.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't really know each other, it's just way the wound just so open for Shannon right now. And
I mean,
it's
you
just
were in
pouring
an
salt on
abusive
it.
relationship, and when somebody would come up to you or look at things in a specific way, wouldn't you be taken aback at that and go, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing this to me right now?
100%.
And I would think Shannon's feeling the same thing from someone that maybe she knows or she doesn't know. But nevertheless, they were together for a while. They weren't just one-time
a couple
hookup.
years, yeah.
So that should hurt in a different space.
Like you said, girl code. It's just, it breaks everything.
But also, they don't need to be putting it on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were going to see each other and they wanted to keep it under wraps or something.
And they're not in the
Right.
limelight, so then go just, live your life quietly maybe somewhere, but not like this.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Okay, I've got another HAUTE topic.
Ooh.
Bethenny Frankel's reality reckoning. Oh, God. What is your opinion on that?
Did you get your residual check yet?
We don't even get residuals for reality. Nobody does.
Gosh, I don't really. I'm kind of surprised that she would even care because she's been off and it's not really something that she's involved in any longer. And I'm not sure how much her opinions are impacting anything.
But why doesn't she like Andy all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Like, is that weird?
I think it's weird.
I feel that I don't know. I feel like you've been with now under Bravo for how many years now? You've been with Bravo
Over 10 years.
Yeah, 13.
And do you feel they've treated you badly, or they've taken
Of course not.
I'm just curious. I'm asking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is knowing what you were signing up for. Like, if people start acting surprised when their reality is actually on a reality show, which I don't understand.
Didn't you know?
Or they want to try to call our producers and get things edited out. I'm like, that's, don't go on a reality show if you don't want your reality exposed.
Our very first reality show we did was called Designer Family for Bravo years ago, before Housewives, before Modern Family, before any show. We did a show called Designer Family with two gay men raising a teenage daughter in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
It got they did the pilot. The series got passed on because they said America was not ready for two gay people on TV back then.
Right.
But I remember the Bravo contract was like 40 pages. Like, it was so big.
That's a fact.
And to me, I remember we were talking to the attorney and everything when we were looking at the contracts, and I'm sure you as well. I mean, you have to read these contracts. They know what they say in these contracts. When you go on this show, you're not getting residuals. But I feel like, aren't there so many other benefits that outweigh that make it worth it?
Yeah,
would you say?
I think that's why my coming back this year, because of my platform for women's empowerment, it gives you that little bit of exposure that allows you to work on other projects.
But you're working on something that's so beautiful, that you're providing a service to so many people, that you're giving them a voice and raising the volume on something that people should be focusing on, should be understanding that exists in all climates.
What's the name of the empowerment movement that you're involved with? You were telling me about it a little bit off air, and tell us.
Yes, so it's a lecture series, and there are going to be opportunities for people to log on and listen to different pieces. My first piece that I'm working on now is about creating boundaries.
Okay.
Which is something that you really need to know when you go on Housewives.
Yeah.
How to establish your boundaries.
Because there are no boundaries.
And I need to be better at it with my daughter, but that is one of the chapters is, it's setting boundaries with your children, because we love them so much. Like your baby over here, she probably has no boundaries here, I'm pretty sure. But so I'm excited about it. It's empowerment experts, and it's all everything from financial empowerment to my stuff's all relationships based, and I'm pretty excited about it.
I love that. Have you written a book?
I wrote a New York Times bestseller about my life.
You did?
After everything happened.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
I need to.
Hiding from reality.
Oh my God. I do know that now. I want to read your book.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you think that was a way to help you heal by writing the book?
It was interesting when I did it. People asked me, was it cathartic? And the minute I pressed send on it, I just started bawling, crying, like the kind where you can't catch your breath crying.
Yeah.
And I think it was like putting my whole life story out into the world was really overwhelming. I think the speaking has been cathartic for me, and visiting with women all over the country who are in shelter and hearing their stories and sharing my story with them, because unfortunately, the stories of abuse are pretty much the same. It starts slow and it escalates. It always escalates. I've never had anyone tell me, oh, all of a sudden they just stopped hitting me. It just doesn't work like that. And so in sharing with other women and hearing every socioeconomic, I've been behind bars with women whose stories still have that same trajectory. You know, they don't ask you out on a date and punch you in the face. You know, the control starts slow and it escalates. And I used to think my former husband was like a knight in shining armor feeling, because he didn't want me to work. He wanted me to have a baby. He, you know, wanted me to sell my business. Yeah, I felt very much like, he just wants to take care of me.
Do you know when it's happening back then that you have no clue that this is what your life is becoming, essentially, right? When someone, like, when you get hit for the first time, do you remember the first time that you were?
Yes.
And how does you're hit, right, for the first time? How do you come back from that? How do you say accept the apology and then stay in that that's got to be hard.
It is hard, definitely. And most women leave an average of 7 times before they finally leave for the last time they go back. But the first time he choked me I was pregnant. And so I didn't feel like I really had the opportunity to necessarily, because I sold my company and you know, he had control over me financially, and I knew that if I left I would have to share custody with him, and he was like a rageaholic, and I just thought, as Kennedy was getting older, I just thought I can never send her off for the weekend.
There's a different kind of realization knowing that you're going to send your child now to somewhere and you don't know what's going to happen.
No, I mean, and he would say, you know, would tell me, because of the financial control, he would say, you know, if you leave, I'll drag you through the court system, I'll bankrupt you, and then you'll be deemed an unfit mother because you won't be able to take care of her financially, and then I'll take her from you. Wow. And so, you know, when you're being told that, very abusive.
Just to hear those words.
Well, and the verbal abuse, really, I feel I have carried with me much more. You know, the physical, I had surgery, you know, you move on from that. But those tapes that you play in your head of the horrible things that have been said to you and the names you've been called, and that stuff stays with you longer, you know, and just drag you down.
It changes.
Of course.
Who you are.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back where you said, this is it, I'm done?
When he fractured my orbital floor, it was my birthday, and I know we had been out with a huge group of people we had a party, and then that night, but he would accuse me. He had crazy ideations about things, and we had filmed on Beverly Hills. We filmed with the Chippendales.
I remember that. Yeah,
Pandora's.
Yes, I remember that. Bachelorette party.
Yes, and he was just insanely jealous. And that night after my birthday, he accused me of sleeping with the Chippendales.
Oh God,
First
they're gay.
of all, I'm pretty sure they're all gay.
They're gay.
Like, you think I slept with all of them? I mean, I was filming with
like,
Bravo.
when would you have time?
What are you talking
Girl,
about?
You're good.
But he would
you're
just
really
I am good. I mean. But I do think they're all gay, first of all.
They
but
are.
I'm just like, what? I was Lisa Vanderpump. What am I doing? But it was just, he wouldn't let up when he would get things in his mind. I took a polygraph test.
Believe that.
Yes, he would just convince himself of things. But he used to accuse me of like 5 things all the time that just weren't true. And so eventually I took a lie detector test about those 5 things, because I was like, I am done with this. Like, let's just get this out of the way.
If you weren't on the TV series, if you weren't on Housewives, would that have, because it magnifies and accelerates, I mean, ultimately, I think the result was probably going to be the same. But do you think you would have left if you weren't on Housewives? Do you think you would have stayed? What would anything would have been done differently?
I don't think the outcome, unfortunately, would have been different. I do think that perhaps subconsciously, when I went on Housewives, I thought that the cameras would provide some protection.
I see.
Because I thought he could be good.
Like
you know?
safety.
Yeah. And I thought, you know, if we're in front of the camera, then maybe the good side of him will be present. And
but then you would stop filming.
Totally makes sense.
And then you'd go home, and then he was the same person.
Yes.
Wow.
That's hard.
And I'm sure your daughter's 17 now, right?
Yes.
So you've obviously talked with her about this. How is she dealing with it?
Yeah, how does it impact her?
It's her father, right? So I mean, she loves him. Obviously, it's her father. So it's how does she
doesn't even know him.
Yeah, she was so young, and we would leave for work before she got up, and he would come home after she was sleeping. So they really didn't have a very close relationship.
Got it.
But after he died, my Dr. Sophie, who was my psychiatrist, he was on the show. he said to bring him up sometimes, bring up her father so that she doesn't think people just disappear.
Yeah.
And I was driving her to school one day. She was in her car seat, and I said, do you miss Daddy? And she said, no. And I said, well, sometimes I miss him. And I'm like, do you remember when we were in Hawaii? And she's like, no, N-O. And then I drove a little bit further, and she said, Mommy, why would you miss a boy that yelled at you all the time?
Her impression was that's what
Wow.
she saw.
Well, because kids know. They're smart.
They know.
You cannot get anything past a kid.
And I had thought I had shielded her from that because I had a live-in nanny who was amazing, and she would take her, if things started getting a little tense, she would take Kennedy away from the situation. So I thought that she didn't really know. But in that moment, I just
you want to hope that she doesn't know, because you don't want them to have to deal with it as they move forward in life.
Of course.
But it happens, and they're there.
Yeah, and in that moment, I just realized, oh no, like she knew way more than I thought she did. But
Did he ever apologize to you?
yes, actually, ironically, the night that he hit me, before we went to my birthday party, he had given me this card, and it was
so much happened on your birthday party. That
know.
should be a whole fucking. That's a series in itself.
No
Jesus,
kidding.
one day in the life of Taylor Armstrong. Like Jesus.
I know. He wrote me this really long card about how he knew he wasn't, wasn't a good husband, and everything was going to change, and today's the turning point. We go to the birthday party, we come home, he hits me in the face. So, it didn't ever make a difference, even though it would give me hope.
Right.
That maybe things were going to change.
But have you forgiven him now? I mean, have you moved? I mean, I know you've moved on, but because that's got, like, how do you forgive someone for that?
In looking back, when you're in it,
right,
you can't dissect it at the time.
It's hard to process.
I do believe that he had some mental illness, and that he was bipolar, and he had some mental illness in his family. And I wish that I could have been able to evaluate that and try him to get help and see if it would have made a difference for him. But that's,
would he
retrospect.
have listened to you? Would he have done what you said? Because the way it sounds, that he was very convinced of things that he was doing that were appropriate, that were right. And so it wasn't like he was teetering on, trying to decide whether or not it was good or bad. It was just, it's his way or the highway.
Yeah, 100% his way or the highway. And I think that he, when he would come up with the crazy ideas like the Chippendales, I think he really truly
Must
believed
have been a great time. Yeah,
because
I remember.
because of the mental illness. I think he would convince himself that those things were accurate.
Sure.
Like, he thought that I had a relationship with Shaquille O'Neal, and like for 5 years, I had to hear about this relationship with Shaquille O'Neal, and it just wasn't true.
Does Shaquille know that he was involved in this relationship?
Yeah, well,
I mean, was he informed?
Oh my God!
I mean, my gosh, I met him like once, and I don't know, but he would get these ideas, and I think that was part of the mental illness problem.
Yeah. Wow, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is brought to you by HERDAT Media and American Media Television. Executive producers are Patrik Simpson, Pol Atteu, and Pat Safford. Produced by Jordan Hill and Sarah Silicula. Shooting and editing by Jordan Hill. Music by Digital Camo. Artwork by Dominique Demetz. And hosted by Pol Atteu, Patrik Simpson, and Little Snow White 90210. Remember to follow at Pol Atteu and at Patrik Simpson and at Snow White 90210, and watch Gown and Out in Beverly Hills on Prime Video. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode.